Hello everyone, welcome to the Keeper of Seeds YouTube channel, documenting life here on our plot from the southeast of England. Now today I thought it would be fun, seeing that we're such a brand spanking new channel to the whole YouTube game. I thought it would be fun to go through why we got a plot and the history behind it. So come on guys, let's go. So to start this story, we probably got to start at the very beginning. When I was young, my granddad made half of his back garden into his own little allotment plot. He grew everything you could think of. It was grown there at some point. The funny thing is when I used to have my friends round from school, we would nick half of the produce and make them into spells, bombs and potions. It does make me laugh looking back on it. He probably would go to harvest his runner beans or his tall French beans, and he would get there and half of them would be gone and they'd be in a pot somewhere around the garden that me and my friends had made. He also had his own garden round where he would cut grass, trim bushes, do things for all the elderly people all around the area. So every school holiday there would be me there cutting the grass, trimming the hedges, and we'd be rewarded by getting a sausage roll halfway through the day. That was my payment for helping him. Coughlin's Bakery is still there in Old Coulsdon. And if I want a bit of nostalgia, I always go back there and have a sausage roll. Good times, really good times. And my love of gardening started there thanks to my granddad. Then in my teenage years, I used to like to collect cactus and aloe vera plants. I used to like going to the garden centre and buying these little baby cactus and nurturing them into these big old monstrosities with spikes and flowers. Even to this day, my nan still has a whole bunch of cactus on her dining room table. Which is always fun to see when I go around there to see her. So for this next bit, I thought I'd bring in the Mrs. Keeper of Seeds here. So then COVID hit us, didn't it?
Yeah. And
we were both stuck at home.
Yeah.
For what seemed like absolutely ages.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. And I was doing stuff in the back garden and I thought, you know what, I wonder if they've got any allotment plots around here, seeing that we were quite new. We moved to this part of West Sussex about 6 months before COVID hit.
Yes.
So we had a lot of stuff to do in the house anyway, so that did keep us busy.
Somebody decided to tear down trees and...
Yeah, we had loads of conifers and I tore all them down. I'm just not a lover of conifers. I don't like the smell of them. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, so I remember sitting on the toilet, as you do, filling out the form.
Lovely.
Filling out the form for an allotment plot.
TMI, sorry.
Yeah, sorry for the TMI there. But yeah, filling out the form for the allotment plot. We did that I think I did that in March 2020.
Yes.
I didn't consult you, which was always the best thing to do. And I didn't actually tell you about it at all after I'd done it, thinking of it.
Right.
But we got an email back from it in 2023.
Yeah.
January 2023. And that's when I first told you I applied for it. 3 years after I'd done it.
As you do.
Yeah, but I was umming and ahhing. I was like, I don't know. An allotment is a big thing to do. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I know from friends, Matt and Claire had they still have an allotment. Yeah. And I remember seeing some of their pictures that they had from the beginning of their plot and how plots are sort of handed over. Normally when you get an allotment plot for the first time, it's normally about up to here in brambles or nettles or something. So I was a bit hesitant to kind of take it on. But I still met with the council. The council told me I could look at 5 different plots on this site, because this is the biggest site out of a possible, I think, 9 allotment sites that we have around the town.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah,
something like that. So I thought this was the nearest one to our house, so I thought we would give it a go. So I arrived and I managed to get in and talk to the council lady, and she asked a few questions and all that. But it did take 3 years to finally get to this stage.
Yeah.
And when I arrived, she said, right, well, I'm going to show you 2 plots. And I was like, I thought I was seeing 5 plots today. Oh yeah, but you're one of the later ones. I've been showing people these all morning. And this is, we've only got 2 left now. And I was like, great, okay, yeah. Fair enough. So she showed us this one, and I will input a picture of that now. And she said, this one has got a tree in the middle, which we're standing under at the moment. We've got a willow tree in the middle of us, which she turned around and said, you can cut that down. I'm happy to get the council to come and use our tree surgeons to cut it down to ground level. And I was like, no, I quite like it. It's a focal point. And she also turned around and said that this plot is stupidly wet. And I don't think, when she said that, I was like, oh, okay. Because at the time we hadn't had any rain when she was showing me around, so it just looked grassy. Which was deceptive. But she said it does get very wet here, and I was like, oh, okay, didn't think much of it. And it hasn't been used in about 2 years. It used to have a polytunnel and a couple of beds. That's all it kind of had. But the one thing that did stand out to me is because we're on the far side, literally next to us is a tree-lined fence and a playground. So I thought, when I bring the kids, because we have 3 kids, I thought when I bring the kids, they can play on the playground whilst I dig away. That was part of it. The other part, well, it was the biggest one out of the 2 that she showed us. The other one she showed us was showed me.
It was a weird
It's a weird shape.
Yeah, and it was very small in comparison to this. It probably wasn't even half.
It wasn't even half
the size of this plot.
But when I asked her for the dimensions of this, she said, whatever the dimensions were, she said. And then when I asked her about the dimensions of the ones just a bit further up, she said it's the same. And I was looking at it going,
it's not the same.
But it starts off like that, and then it kind of goes like that. And it's like a weird offcut. And cars can drive behind it if they want to. And I was like, I don't know. So I said to her at the time, I said, I'm very interested. I would like the plot down the bottom, which is plot 6, which is this plot. And it was agreed. We wrote up everything, and we almost, well, metaphorically got the keys. We don't have keys. We have a padlock system with a numbers, which they keep changing just to confuse us.
And me especially. Valentine's Day to me, who got given it on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so the first day we could come up here was Valentine's Day 2023.
Yeah. What a gift.
We didn't really do much.
A grassy plot.
Yeah. So yeah, Valentine's Day, we celebrated, and then we came up here, and we had a walk around.
Yep.
And there was so many weird things. Where we were standing, there was a dip. Do you remember the dip?
Yeah.
I nearly broke my ankle because the grass was so long. Well, say so long. It was still winter time, so the grass was so long.
Yeah.
And I trod in it, thinking that the ground was only about that big, but it was about that deep. And I nearly went arse over here.
Yeah. It had so many divots and holes. And there was carpet buried underneath the ground.
Oh, I forgot about the carpet. Yeah.
There was shingle in places.
Weed matting as well in places.
It was a complete mess under the grass, and you couldn't see it as you were walking. So it was a bit of a minefield.
And it also had loads of bricks and slabs all piled up in places where the grass had grown over. So you would, literally, for me especially, I would get the spade and go, right, I'm going to start digging here. Dong. And that happened quite often. Or I did that and it went in the ground a little bit, but you couldn't get it in the ground properly. And then you ended up finding that it was carpet, and you were almost rolling up whole mats of carpet.
But even as we were doing the fence much later on, obviously to keep the chickens and the ducks on the plot, even then, almost coming up to 2 years later, you were still finding bricks and paving slabs as we were doing the fencing.
The funny thing is
around the plot.
I've dug a little trench behind one of our sheds over here, and I found another paving slab. And that was only the other day, years on.
Yeah.
And I still get bricks and everything that surprised me now.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Robin.
Oh, yeah.
Hi. You're not a robin we normally see. The robin that normally frequents our plot is, I'm guessing it likes the chickens and ducks food because it's quite porky in comparison to that little one that just flew by.
Moving on to a couple of years later, we decided to make this monstrosity, which is what we jokingly call, this was all done with no measuring. This was all done by my line of sight.
This was Laura's not available and I want to get it done, so I'm just going to do it how I think it should be done.
Yeah.
And ta-da!
So basically, to start this story off, this used to be a makeshift, I guess, polytunnel on the plot behind, because that was vacant at the time as well. And we were told that we're allowed to take the wood from it. Now, all the wire is stuff that we've bought ourselves, but the wood was all repurposed. And we made it into a little thing, which was really good for the chickens for a little while. Yeah. And then we moved them into what we've got which I'll show you in a second. But for the time being, it did the trick.
It did the job.
It did the job.
It kept the foxes out and kept the chickens in, and that was kind of what you
did
wanted.
Have foxes did try though, didn't they? Do you remember the early days?
Yeah.
I'll try and put some photos if I've still got hold of them. At the front, we didn't really know too much about. Now we wired the floor and we wired the top and we wired all around the sides, but we didn't put that much thought into foxes trying to dig under, even though that we knew that we had wire there.
Yeah.
It was only till online, I think you read about paving slabs.
Yes.
Outside, or shingle, or something that basically stops the foxes from doing it.
Yeah.
Now, luckily on the empty plot we had there had loads of paving slabs, let alone did we.
Yeah.
So we used our own stuff here. Rolling on to modern day, this is now used as our duck run.
Yeah.
Our ducks went in here, and they started off, when they were baby ducklings, they started off in that bit there. They soon became...
Our 4 ducks, then added another 3,
Yep.
and then added another 3.
Yeah.
And they needed an extension.
Yeah. That's why we've extended this part. So this part here always used to have our shed on it. But we needed more room for the ducks. We got more ducks.
Yep.
They got bigger, and they were no longer ducklings, they were full-fledged ducks.
Yeah.
That we have today. And that was just a bit too small now they grew up. So we extended all of this into one run. We moved the shed and we put it, so they've got all their house and dryer bit and bedding and food up the top, and then this end they have all their water buckets, their massive water trough that they splash around in, and they've also got, so this end is the wet end and this is their dry end up there,
because ducks are messy.
For anybody that's thinking of getting ducks, I totally say go for it, but you don't realise how messy
they are.
Oh, the poo. I think I read somewhere the other day that ducks will poo every half an hour.
Yeah, they are, as much as they are lovely, they have lovely personalities.
Oh, yeah.
And they're excellent to take care of. And obviously
they have less problems than chickens. Chickens in the summertime can get things like red mite,
where
I don't believe ducks can.
No.
Things like that are...
And obviously their waste is really beneficial to plants and obviously everything growing on the plot.
And we use their tub that they have all the water they like to splash around and poo in and do whatever fun and games they have in there. We use that because that is, what do you class it as?
Well, the
liquid gold.
Farmers and allotment keepers who have ducks call it liquid gold.
It is, yeah. So we've been putting that on our plants from day one, really, haven't we? And
yes.
That might be one of the reasons why we get so many nice sort of size veg and things. I don't really know.
Yeah. So, as Paul said, when he first built the chicken run, that year at Christmas, I got him a sign that says the Wonky Hen House, established 2023.
Yeah.
And that is because when he built that, as you can see, it's very wonky.
I still think it's quite good, personally, myself, but that's just me.
And where we were gifted by one of our lovely allotment neighbours, this hen house, when we said about we were extending and things like that, she said, oh, well, I'm getting a new hen house as a Christmas present, so I'll gift you my one that I was going to think to take to the dump, even though there's nothing wrong with it. So
yeah, she was going to throw this, and it's been worth its weight in gold.
And
really,
this is wonky too. So... The sign works exceptionally well, even on the new chicken house.
Everywhere we look is wonky. That's the one thing I kind of laugh about. A lot of the time, I don't measure things. I just kind of go, that's it, and get it done.
Don't know it.
So then moving on to modern day. Thanks to our allotment neighbour, Rebecca, she told us at the beginning, keep building it up with wood chip. And that's kind of what we've done. And we've now sort of created an allotment island.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
The water especially lays below our plot and around us, but it doesn't lay so much where our plot is. Even the veg beds have been built up and they don't have water laying them anymore. Every winter we have to add more wood chip. As you can see, this is relatively new wood chip, and we still got plenty more to bring on.
Biodegrade and rot down,
and
so fresh layer goes on top, and we start the process again. Well, this used to be our squash bed, and
which is now our mini orchard in a way.
Another bright idea for me. I said to Paul, if we put some fruit trees in there, they're going to absorb quite a lot of that water, and I think this is the first year since putting these in that we've actually got no surface water actually sitting on that. So that is a really good sign.
And we also got plums.
Yep.
from one of our first fruit trees now.
And we've got some nice plum jam from those.
And
so
yeah,
that was really,
at the
really
end
good.
of last year, we made that lovely plum jam, which we still yet to try. Don't let me get started on the sweet chili jam that we had. I think we said in a previous video that blew our brains off.
Oh, our neighbour who you gave a jar to said it was absolutely perfect.
Oh, really?
And he thoroughly enjoyed it.
There we go. How about that? So this year is something I want to do more this year. Is I want to do a bit more sort of preserving, canning, jarring, that sort of stuff. And plus, I've also said this year where we've extended our beds and we're hoping for more veg. I'm hoping to get a chest freezer, second-hand chest freezer. That's what we're hoping for.
We are. We've just kind of got to rejig
the dining room just to fit it in. But that's it. That is basically up to modern day, really. We've gained a greenhouse. We never actually spoke about the greenhouse. Thinking of it. No,
I know you've spoken about it previously, but yeah, we inherited a greenhouse, and he's called it Bill in honour of his granddad.
Yep.
And it was a godsend last growing season for the copious amounts of chilies he's decided to grow, plus our watermelon.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Which grew really, really well.
And it's been great so far. It's kind of the heart of the allotment almost. All the seeds start at home, which they've started last night.
Yeah.
They've taken over the dining room table.
Dining room table.
And they will slowly evolve there until they're big enough to come out here. Then it's basically like a plant nursery for a few months. And then they go into the ground. It all kind of comes all through the greenhouse. Which
just in time for Easter for me to reclaim my table.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, guys, I think that's enough of you listening to us waffle on. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. We are nearly at 50 subscribers.
Wow.
I know. So I'm really, really pleased about that.
That's really good.
So thank you very, very much for everybody that has subscribed and liked our videos and even commented our videos. We've really enjoyed replying to the comments. They have been, one, quite knowledgeable, two, quite funny. And we have had our first troll comment. Well, not on YouTube. We had it on Instagram. Some Wally, I don't know what he was on about. But yeah, so we've had that. So I just want to say thank you very much before the duck soaks us in her little puddle.
We will be doing a video at some point to introduce you to each of the feathered members of the family, and maybe even our furry members at home of the rabbits
and the cats
who contribute to, obviously.
Toffee. On that note, before we get absolutely soaked in muddy pond water, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. And there's nothing really else to say.
No.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.